Hey all you tricksters, welcome back to the channel. It's time for another What's New in the eShop. This is the show where we take a look at all of the releases coming up for the following week on the Nintendo Switch. So first I'm going to talk to you about what I think are the highlights, or at least the most interesting looking games coming out this week. And then right afterwards there will be a nice little sizzle reel with the rest of the games. So let's go ahead and get this started. First off, on September 6th, we have Circus Electrique. Named for an alternate history, London's most famous entertainment, Circus Electrique combines enthralling, story-driven RPG tactics and circus management with a steampunk twist. When everyday Londoners mysteriously turn into vicious killers, only a Circus Electrique's talented performers can save the city. The greatest champion mode on Earth places these talented individuals in tactical turn-based battles. Crazed bobbies, British sailors gone bad, aggressive posh girls, and other Victorian-era archetypes stand in their way. Circus Electrique's innovation devotion morale system affects characters' performance not only in battles, but also for actual circus shows, dutifully managed between heroic jaunts through 6 sprawling districts. So I really felt like this stood out as a highlight this week. First of all, because I think that any Darkest Dungeon clone that looks competent is very exciting. But second of all, this comes from Zen Studios. And Zen Studios, they are the developers of the amazing Pinball Effects series of games. Now, obviously, that's a very different genre of games, but they are, for me personally, one of my favorite developers. I think they have a history of top-notch quality in their games. So I'm really looking forward to trying this and seeing how they handle a very different genre than pinball. Also on September 6th, we have Disney Dreamlight Valley. Disney Dreamlight Valley is a hybrid between a life sim and an adventure game, rich with quests, exploration, and engaging activities featuring Disney and Pixar friends, both old and new. Once an idyllic land, Dreamlight Valley was a place where Disney and Pixar characters lived in harmony, until the forgetting. Night thorns grew across the land and severed the wonderful memories tied to this magical place. With nowhere else to go, the hopeless inhabitants of Dreamlight Valley retreated behind locked doors in the Dream Castle. Now it's up to you to discover the stories of this world and bring the magic back to Dreamlight Valley. Now, to be completely honest, Disney Dreamlight Valley doesn't interest me at all, but I think for people who are fans of Animal Crossing and Disney and like the idea of those two combined, but with a game that definitely offers some more meaty quest style, real more gamey kind of feel to it, I think this will probably be pretty exciting for that particular audience. Again, that audience is not me, but I can see that it is a game that has some very high production values. Also on September 6th, we have Temtem. Temtem is a massively multiplayer creature collection adventure. Seek adventure in the lovely airborne archipelago alongside your Temtem squad. Catch every Temtem, battle other tamers, customize your house, join a friend's adventure, or explore the dynamic online world. Every kid dreams about becoming a Temtem tamer, exploring the 6 islands of the airborne archipelago, discovering new species, and making good friends along the way. Now it's your turn to embark on an epic adventure and make those dreams come true. Catch new Temtem on Amnesia's floating islands, battle other tamers on the sandy beaches of Deniz, or trade with your friends in Tukma's ash-covered fields. Defeat the ever-annoying clan Bel Soto and end its plot to rule over the archipelago, beat all 8 dojo leaders, and become the ultimate Temtem tamer. I gotta say, saying Temtem tamer too many times is a big tongue twister. This is a Pokemon clone, and it's a pretty well-reviewed one on Steam, so if you're into Pokemon and you can't get enough, I think you're gonna enjoy Temtem. Moving on to September 7th, we have Kaichu, the Kaiju dating sim. Kaichu is a dating sim about kaiju. You play the role of Gigachu, a gigantic romantic looking for love. Meet 6 other eligible kaiju and visit 24 famous landmarks where Gigachu will answer the challenging compatibility questions to decide the fate of your relationship. To be completely honest, this is another game that I'm not super interested in, but I just felt like I had to include it. It looks really goofy and silly. Definitely a lot of fun for people who are into dating sims and are looking for something just kind of ridiculous. It also just has a really lovely art style, a nice high production value, you can tell. So I think, again, for people who are fans of dating sims, they should definitely try this one out. Moving on to September 8th, we have BPM, Bullets Per Minute. BPM is a rhythm FPS developed by Awe Interactive. Fight as a mighty Valkyrie to repel the forces of the underworld from invading the world of Asgard. In BPM, all of your actions and the actions of your enemies are tied to the beat of the music. Your enemies perform a dance-like sequence of attacks to an epic rock opera. Inspired by retro shooters of the 90s, it is fast, frenetic, and rhythmical. You can double jump, dash, rocket jump, and bunny hop to evade your opponents. Your goal is to reach the end of randomly generated dungeons, collecting different weapons, abilities, and items each time you play. These weapons and abilities can radically alter the way you play, making each playthrough unique. You must defeat 7 bosses to reach the final boss. Each boss moves and attacks in a unique way that you must learn to exploit if you want to succeed. Some attacks require you to jump over fields of lava, some to dodge fast projectiles, some to hold fast for a beat. Alright, so I don't really have to explain what it is you're seeing. You're seeing a game that obviously takes a lot of inspiration from rhythm games, but also obviously from Doom-style arena games. Again, this is a game that is getting added to the highlight reel simply because it has a lot of Steam reviews, and nearly all of those Steam reviews are very positive. So very often, just like it is with these ports, it's not whether or not the game is good. We already know the game is good. It's whether or not the Switch port can hold up. And this game looks pretty fast and frenetic, so fingers crossed that it's got a solid, at least stable frame rate. But I, for one, am pretty excited about this. I love any kind of new roguelike, and I think this one is a very different take on the genre. Alright, also on September 8th, we have Justice Sucks. When burglars break into the McLean home, Dusty must go rogue to protect his family. Unfortunately, his heroic actions attract the attention of Family Corps, and a fight with the Warranty Squad sends Dusty flying into the living room TV. Waking up in the TV dimension, Dusty must hack, hide, and suck his way to freedom, join forces with your fighting spirit, Sexy McLean, and develop deadly abilities to help him defeat Family Corps and save his family. This game looks absolutely hysterical to me. You can just get to play as this robotic vacuum, taking on all kinds of baddies, doing stealth kills on them, and then eating them to gain up power. It's pretty crazy, pretty out there. There is another game that kind of had this same premise, and the title is... I can't remember it right now. If I find it when I'm editing this, I'll put it on the screen. So I'm wondering if these are the same developers and this is sort of a spiritual sequel to that game, because I know there's another game where you play as a robotic vacuum that takes on burglars. So I'm wondering if this is a sequel of sorts to that. But either way, it looks like a ton of fun, and I can't wait to try it out. Also on September 8th, we have Tower Princess, a charming 3D roguelike platformer about a normal day in the life of a knight. Sharpen the spear and make the dragon run in fear. Oh, and also try to manage a date with princesses and princes you rescue. Once upon a time in a faraway land, an evil dragon took prisoner every royal heir he could meet. Lots of worthy suitors of every kingdom tried to face the beast without success. Now it's your turn. You'll have to do your best to beat the dungeon, defeat the dragon, and manage the most perfect date. Oh my goodness, like I said before, I am such a sucker for roguelikes. This one just looks like so much fun. I also love old school platformers, so I'm really hoping that those two genres meld nicely. But this one is really high on my list for this week. Have not heard much buzz leading up to it, so I'm wondering if it's going to be all bark and no bite, if it's not really going to be anything great. So I think you should definitely wait for some reviews, but it does look interesting nonetheless. Moving on to September 9th, we have Haiku the Robot. Delve into the depths of a mechanical world in this cute adventure exploration game. Explore and fight in a land full of corrupt robots and machinery, all while seeking answers to the mysteries around you. Explore. Forge your own path through a vast interconnected world full of corrupt robots and machinery. Map uncharted paths and explore the hidden depths of Arcadia. Fight, dodge, dash, and slash as you battle fierce-looking machines. Challenge your skills and reflexes through tight melee combat and epic boss fights. discover, evolve with powerful items and abilities, allowing you to reach previously inaccessible areas. Meet a variety of quirky robots, both friend and foe, and discover the dark secrets of the world around you. Okay, so if there is a genre that I'm more of a sucker for than roguelites, it's definitely Metroidvanias. I hadn't heard of anything about this before I started researching this week, so again, I haven't heard much buzz. I don't know if it's going to be worthwhile, but I really like the art style. The animation looks good, and again, I'm just a sucker for Metroidvanias, and it looks like it's got a real nice big world to move through. So this is another one I'm really looking forward to. I'm going to wait for some reviews. But fingers crossed, and maybe we'll have a nice little hidden gem of a Metroidvania. And last but certainly not least, also on September 9th, we have the game that everybody is waiting for this week, Splatoon 3. Enter the Splatlands, a sun-scorched desert inhabited by battle-hardened Inklings and Octolings. Splatsville, the city of chaos, is the adrenaline-fueled heart of this dusty wasteland. Even in this desolate environment, Turf War reigns supreme and battles rage in new stages located in the surrounding wilds. Dynamic new moves help these fighters dodge attacks and cover more ground, along with a new bow-shaped weapon to sling ink. Join Agent 3 in a fight against the unruly Octarians in story mode. Discover the secrets of Alterna, the Fuzzy Ooze, and how they connect to the mode's theme, Return of the Mammalians. Team up and fend off waves of dangerous Salmonid bosses in the next iteration of Salmon Run, a co-op mode with fresh new features. Well, I don't think you need me to sell you on Splatoon 3. I think you know what it is by now. I will say that I'm a big fan of the previous two. Maybe you've been intimidated just about jumping into one of the previous two after they've already been out for a while. So I would encourage you, if you think this is something you would enjoy, I would jump in right at the beginning. You can be with other people learning the new maps. It won't be nearly as intimidating. I think it's also a fairly easy competitive shooter to kind of get a grip on. And the nice thing is, even if you're not great with your aim, you can still contribute, inking up the level and helping out your team. Alright, those were the games I thought were the most interesting ones to highlight this week, but I might be wrong, so you might want to check out this sizzle reel with the rest of the games coming to the eShop. right, all you Switch fans, let me know what you're thinking of this week's new releases. Let me know what you're thinking that you're going to be picking up. I think there's some good, solid choices. Obviously, Splatoon 3 is very high on people's list of what they're picking up. But I do think there are some potential future hidden gems on this list. So let me know down in the comments below. And until next time, Tricksters, I hope you have great gaming. Bye-bye.